So we know a lot of you guys are shopping for homes right now. You're trying to figure out, should I go with a 30-year mortgage or a 15-year mortgage? We're going to talk about that coming up. Welcome back to an all-new edition of the Sunday Night Sit-Down with America's #1 money couple. I'm Talent.
And I'm Ty, and we're from hisandhermoney.com, where we're managing money, marriage, and everything in between.
The Sunday Night Sit-Down is being brought to you by our friends at Policy Genius. That's your go-to spot to find all of your needs in regards to insurance. They have an awesome tool that's totally free. You can just input your information and it will spit out quotes to see if your current insurance is meeting your needs or if you may need to switch. So all you have to do is go to hisandhermoney.com/policygenius to find out more details. And of course, we'll put the link in the description box below. Well, it is home buying season, and we know a lot of you guys are in the market. You're out and about with your agent and you're looking online at different ads. And we know that for a lot of people, you're trying to figure out the financing because that's such a big part of the home buying process. And there's quite a bit of information out there as to regards to which way is the best way to go. Do you go with the 15-year mortgage or do you go with the 30-year mortgage? So we kind of wanted to talk about that subject today. We're going to talk about the process that we went through in buying our home and the decision that we came to. And we're going to talk about the pros and cons in both scenarios to help you make a better informed decision.
That's right. Now with so many mortgage companies around every corner just about, there are so many different creative financing, such as, now they have like a 40-year mortgage, some even have a 20-year. So it just depends, and I'm sure that you guys have a lot of questions. But the most common that we're going to talk about right now that most people know about is the 15-year and the 30-year. Now we will be bringing to you a separate video discussing with you guys our home buying process and how that was like and how we chose our home and things like that. But in this video, we're going to strictly talk about why we personally chose a 30-year mortgage over a 15-year mortgage. We know that a lot of our listeners or our viewers, you guys follow Dave Ramsey, and I know that he believes in the 15-year mortgage, and you know what? We do too, but we do know that it is not a one-size-fits-most. We live here in the Midwest area of the United States, which is Chicago, and it's pretty pricey. The homes here, in particular where we live, are pretty pricey. Now, we have been able to see different homes in different areas such as Texas. My dear hubby here would love to go to Texas. But I love watching like House Hunters and things like that on HGTV. And every time I see that they're in Texas, I see some of these huge homes for like less than what we pay for our own home. So I am aware that homes cost different prices in different areas, as well as the cost of living may be a little bit higher or a little bit lower, so it all depends. But here in the Midwest, the homes here in our area are a little bit pricey, and we chose a 30-year mortgage over a 15-year mortgage for more than one reason. One of the reasons simply is because we both agreed that it was best. So that's number one. When you start this conversation, if you are married and you're starting this conversation with your spouse, remember that it is no wrong way or no right way when doing something. As long as you both are really pretty much on one accord, then hey, then we stand for that. So first, he and I both, we were on the same page when it came to a 30-year mortgage. We looked at both options. We actually pulled up an amortization calculator, and you can find those for free online. One of my favorite websites to go to is bankrate.com, and they have a mortgage calculator there, and you can play around with numbers, and that's what we did. We played around with numbers. When we purchased our home, we were approved for much more than we wanted to be approved for. So, however, we did not use the entire dollar amount that the banks were willing to give us. We used the amount that was comfortable enough for us that we would know that we would be able to pay for our mortgage without having an issue. We could definitely pay for a 15-year mortgage, or we can handle that 15-year home mortgage payment. However, though, we started to look at some different factors. One of the factors is I am a stay-at-home, work-at-home mom, so I do not work outside of the home. My husband is the only one that pretty much brings in, I like to say, the stable paycheck for our family. And so we knew that in the event that, let's say, if he was to get laid off of work, or if something was to happen, maybe he got injured or ill or anything like that, we did not want that added stress of having to come up with the 15-year mortgage payment no matter what, because we believe in paying our bills on time, and we believe in making sure that we can afford it. And so we knew that if we were to choose a 30-year mortgage but pay it as if we were paying a 15-year mortgage or less, then we knew that that was one of the reasons why that was probably the better decision for us.
Yeah, it comes down to discipline. For us, we have a high level of discipline in the area of personal finance. We've been through a lot, we've learned a lot, and along the way, we have built up a resolve and a discipline in the handling of our money. So it made sense for us to do the 30-year as opposed to the 15-year because we have the discipline to pay ahead on the 30-year mortgage. And like my wife said, we wanted to be in control. Part of our core message to you all, the reason we come with all this great content here on YouTube or our podcast on iTunes or even at hisandhermoney.com is because we want to put you in control of your personal finance situation. Right now, for a lot of you all, Sallie Mae and Bank of America and JP Morgan Chase are in control of your personal finance situation. And so for us, we felt more in control by having the 30-year mortgage, again, a lower payment as opposed to this higher payment that we would be handcuffed to. By us having the lower, more affordable payment on the 30-year, we can apply more money when we have the ability to, and we can hold back and just pay the traditional payment if we need to in certain situations. So it came down to us being in control and us having a high level of discipline. For you all, I don't know. Is that the case? That's right. One of the talking points that you all are going to have. Because a 15-year mortgage might make sense if it forces you to be more disciplined and get from underneath a mortgage quicker. Then a 15-year mortgage would make sense. Or if you're in a place where the cost of living isn't as high and a 15-year mortgage payment is still within your budget, then definitely do it. But for us and for others who are in metropolitans like Chicago, New York, or LA, and places like that where the cost of living is very, very high, don't put yourself in a financial bind by agreeing to a 15-year mortgage just because a finance guru just says that that's the only way to go. Right. You have to look at your situation personally. Right. That's why it's called personal finance.
And that's why we want to stress this point even more, that it does not necessarily mean what area you live in. That's not what we're saying. We're not making this video or telling you guys, depending on where you live, then you need to choose a 30-year. No, but we're telling you one of the reasons why we chose a 30-year over 15, because our home was a little bit pricey. But however, we knew that we were going to be gazelle when it came to paying off our mortgage. We knew that we didn't even want to keep our mortgage for 15 years. Hey, we knew we didn't even want to keep it for 7 or 5 years. You know, the sooner we could pay it off, the better. So in our case, we knew that we were going to aggressively be paying it off, and that's what we did. We have been in our home now, it's about to be 3 years, and we have knocked off well over 13 years already off of our 30-year mortgage. We shared with you guys a video on how $130 knocked off 13 years off of our 30-year mortgage, and it was just applying small principles, so you definitely want to make sure that you check that out. Now, we also knew that once we paid down our mortgage to a certain amount that we kind of felt comfortable, we knew that we were going to be able to revisit in the future a possibility of refinancing. So that future is actually here. We actually sat back and we actually discussed, we said, hey, should we refinance right now to a 15-year mortgage? So therefore, a majority of our payments will be going towards principal along with the additional amount of money that we're throwing at our mortgage. So what we did was we did our homework, we shopped around, we looked at many different companies, and we saw a particular bank here which they had an affordable refinance program where all we would have to pay is $299. So not a lot of money right there. So you guys want to make sure, that is another tip here, and I'm probably going into maybe a future video, but you want to make sure that anytime you are refinancing your home or even purchasing a home, that you look at just more than just the interest rate. You want to look at the closing costs. Sometimes you may not be able to recoup that closing cost, or it does not make sense for you to pay that amount of money in closing costs if you're not going to be able to recoup it in the amount of time that it takes you to pay off your home. So $299 was the closing cost in our particular situation. So we knew, hey, that's affordable. So let's now play around with the numbers. So what did I do? I grabbed my notebook and I started to write out different scenarios. I started to write out a 10-year, a 15-year, and they also had a 20-year. I knew that we didn't want to do a 30, but they had a 10, 15, and 20-year mortgage, different rates and things like that. So I pulled up that calculator on bankrate.com and I started to write out the figures. So guys, let me tell you, we have aggressively paid off our mortgage so quickly that we have already outpaced the 15-year mortgage option. So when I sat down and I put in the calculations, and if I did the 15-year, or if I kept what we currently have and I kept the dollar amount of what we're currently paying towards principal, When I looked at both those scenarios of refinancing to a 15-year or keeping currently what we have, right now, because the amount of money that we're paying towards our principal is eating away so much at the principal, we're not paying as much as in interest. So actually, we would be going backwards now if we did go to a 15-year. So for us, we're like, yes, we made the right decision in our case. So we're really, really excited about that. So for you guys, your decision may be a 15-year may be best. As my husband said, if you know that you are not disciplined and you know that if you go out and you get a 30-year mortgage and you're going to really keep that mortgage for 30 years, then hey, I would tell you no, do not do a 30-year mortgage. But if you're somebody like us and your situation, you know that you're very, very disciplined, you're going to be aggressive, and more than likely you're going to have your home paid off in less than 15 years, maybe even 10 years or 7 years, then you may want to consider the option like we did. One thing that mattered most to us was a sense of peace. And we knew in a sense of comfort. And I'm more of the conservative one in the relationship, where my husband is more of the risk taker. And for me, it just gave me more peace of mind knowing that we had the option to have a lower monthly mortgage amount in the event that something was to happen. Although we have an emergency fund that we can't fall back on, I still want to make sure that if need be, if we did not have to pay an extra cent or an extra dollar towards principal and we needed that lower dollar amount, the 30-year mortgage was going to allow us that comfort, or that comfort of peace.
Now, guys, this is the biggest purchase that you're going to make in your life. So we want you guys to be diligent in your research and diligent in your conversations with each other. Make the right decision based on your personal situation. Make a decision based on the numbers and the facts that you're dealing with. Never allow personal finance advice to feel like a blanket statement that applies to everybody in every situation. Take a hard look at your situation, run your numbers, and make the best decision for your household. Now, guys, this is a community. It's not all about Talent and Ty. His and Her Money is a family, a community of people all on the journey to financial freedom. So we need to hear from you in the comments section. What are you currently working with? Is it a 30-year mortgage or 15-year mortgage? And how did you come to that decision? And tell us if you are a thumbs up on the 30-year or thumbs up on the 15-year mortgage option. Or both.
Yeah, because we're both. It just depends on your situation.
So let your voice be heard in the comments section.
Yes, we would love to hear from you. If you guys enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. Don't forget, check us out over at our website at hisandhermoney.com and meet us back here next Sunday night at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time, where you will see the both of us sharing with you. And also, we want to hear from you. If you have any questions or if you would like us to answer your question here on our Sunday night sit down here on YouTube, please email us at questions@hisandhermoney.com.
Well, guys, it's been great. Until next time.
Bye.
Peace.